welcome, beautiful souls, to Bow and Arrow Tarot. My name is Dorothy. Today we're going to get right into the December reading for Aries. This reading could be for anyone who has Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Mars in Aries. And this is just one of the many unique outlooks that may be out there for an Aries for the month of December. Begin your reading by cutting the deck. Queen of Cups, Lovers, and the Devil. Wow. So, two strong major arcana cards, Lovers and the Devil, and the Queen of Cups coming out. So right away, this month, for you, Aries, is all about your emotions and your feelings. With that Queen of Cups coming in, she is all about expressing yourself in the most honest way, being the most true to your emotions, understanding your emotions, not being afraid of your emotions, not being afraid of connecting with someone and being vulnerable, right? There is a strength there that she has in knowing herself. Queen of Cups is water energy. So yes, very, very emotional time starting off for you. And then we have Lovers coming in. So for some of you, a lover's connection. Also the card for Gemini. Just as the Devil is the card for Capricorn. So some of you may be dealing with a Gemini or a Capricorn, but Lovers and the Devil to be there together. You see, the couple is represented in both cards. And so in one, there is a sort of elevation of being together, a divine union, a soulmate energy of companionship and equality. And then the other, the same is there, and yet they don't have that leveling up towards a higher good. They're both still together as a couple, but together in, I want to say, habit almost, right? Slave to their desires. They're both equally a slave to a desire. And that desire oftentimes with the Devil is not to do with elevation, but can be to do with sort of the desires and pleasures of the earth, of the earthly realm. The Devil is the card for Capricorn, which is an earth sign. And so you can remind us of, in one way, being very creative. The Devil breeds a lot of creativity. It's a strong source of creativity, the primordial desire that we have, and yet also watching out not to become a slave to our basic most desires, okay? Let's go deeper. We're going to find out what this is all about. But definitely, interesting choice here. How your emotions are expressed will come out. Some of you may be dealing with someone where you both are in an addiction together. And this month, there will be a choice that you make about what kind of connection you have. Are you going to have a connection that elevates you, or are you going to have a connection where you both sort of spiral down into, your habit or your addiction? That's the immediate message and energy that's coming through to me. And a lot of this is going to depend on your honesty with your feelings. Let's go deeper. Four of Pentacles. There's issue to do with money. Knight of Cups. Wow. And the World. There's a strong issue here to do with money. And there's also someone coming in for you, Knight of Cups, that may be showing you another way. Let me go to the Knight of Cups first. Yes. Someone who is being very relentless about wanting to open a dialogue with you about love or a connection with you. And again, searching your heart, searching your feelings, Aries. Some of you will be making a choice between a love connection that is transcending and elevating, and a love connection that is pulling you down in this regard here with the Devil, that is pulling you down into a space that has no focus on the higher spiritual or the higher mental elevation or growth or progression, but that is, in this regard, very much tied to sort of an earthly desire. Again, strongly feels to me like this is an Aries who is tied with somebody in some sort of toxic type of way of life. Again, feeling strongly like there's addiction here. Alcohol, gambling, sex, whatever that is, drugs, and also money issues coming through, right? Four of Pentacles. Middle of the month comes in, and you guys just are not making it ahead, right? You're not making it forward, rather. You're not progressing. Four of Pentacles, you're trying to hold on to everything you can, but it's never enough. There's a fear there, okay? Some of you, there's a fear. Things may have gotten pretty testy in this relationship, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody where you have an addiction with them. You both suffer from an addiction. And that fear of losing everything, that struggle that is coming through is becoming overwhelming for you. And yet you have somebody coming in. It's interesting that Knight of Cups is coming over that Lover's card. You have somebody coming in that is offering you a different type of cup of love, and you may be having to search your feelings as a result of it. The World card is also coming in, reminding you that you are, you are of this world. You are here to enjoy this world, but not to be a slave to it. The World card comes in oftentimes when you find yourself in a position in your life, you know exactly this is where you're supposed to be at. But it is a card of transcendence. So there is a feeling here that this person, this Knight of Cups, whoever they are, they bring you to a place where you're feeling much more like who you are supposed to be. Four of Cups, okay? So there's that cup of love that you are ignoring. Two of Wands, waiting for a sign, and a Magician. All right, so yes, another four, stability. Again, stability is definitely, I want to say, being tested, right? For you, Aries, stability is definitely being tested. Yeah, you're starting to be like, look, I don't want it anymore. Okay, I don't want this connection anymore. I'm beginning to learn to say no. I'm coming into my feelings. I'm starting to really, especially in the beginning of the month, you're really starting to understand your feelings and understand who you are, where you're coming from, what you desire with that Queen of Cups. And it's making you say no to a particular offer of love. I'm going to say some of you, Aries, have definitely been involved with somebody where the relationship has taken you down. The relationship has cost you money. It has definitely caused you to lose a lot. And this month, someone is coming in for you to show you a different way. You're beginning to change. You're beginning to understand that this is not where you're supposed to be, and there is a place where you're supposed to be. Two of Wands is coming in, letting you know that you're looking forward. You're beginning to understand that it's time to move forward. You're beginning to have a passion for creating your own vision for your life. Again, Aries, very specific message here. I'm going to pull some clarifiers, but this is a specific message for Aries who's been involved probably in a very toxic relationship. That relationship has revolved around some kind of addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, gambling, whatever that is. And it has caused you to live a life that is not the life you wanted. It may have started off like a beautiful connection, but somewhere along the lines, it went sideways. And this month is a month where you're beginning to realize that. You're beginning to realize that it's not what you want. And you're beginning to see that there is a possibility for a future. This line here, the Lovers, that transcends, the Knight of Cups coming in and bringing you a genuine cup of love, and the Two of Wands. This is a beautiful line here. And so, Aries, that cup coming in, that Knight coming in, this individual coming in for you, could be an air sign that comes in for you, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But they're showing you, by the way that they look at you and treat you and sort of act towards you, and the love that they're presenting for you, it's almost acting as a mirror to you, Aries, where you're beginning to see yourself as something more than what you've been seeing yourself as in this connection that you have here, okay? This Lover's connection that you have here. If you are single, there's still a relationship that you've been having that maybe it's not a defined sort of relationship, married, living together, etc., but it's been an on-again, off-again relationship that, for all intents and purposes, has still been affecting you. The Magician comes in for you also here. Again, to remind you that when you are truly in touch with yourself, when you really begin to make that decision, Two of Wands is, Mars and Aries energy. It's that decision to move out in the world, strike out in the world, make your own. That Magician coming in right behind it is letting you know that you are playing to your strengths and your capabilities, and that your confidence is beginning to come back. Things will be working out for you because of that. When you play to your strengths, you're true to your heart as that queen tells you to be, and you make that decision to step forward, Two of Wands, you really do begin to have success because you're playing to your strengths and you begin to see yourself as part of the world and not a slave to the world. Let's get some clarifiers. Pull 3 clarifiers out. 7 of Cups, strength. There's your strength, and there's the moon. Interesting. 7 of Cups, yeah, it's been pie in the sky. 7 of Cups reminds us that sometimes what we wanted was just too lofty, was unattainable. It was just unrealistic. The connection was a connection that you both have to something else. And like I've been saying, it's a lot to do with addiction. If the connection is that you both love drinking, if you're alcoholics, you're 2 alcoholics, this is the message here. It's like this idea that you could build a relationship on the fact that you're both alcoholics. Do you see what I'm saying? And realizing that that is not attainable. A relationship has to be built on the connection that you have to each other, but not to the thing that you both are addicted to. And so realizing that, strength card comes in to remind you of all the strength that you have. Again, with that 2 of Wands, this energy is coming in for you this month where you maybe didn't have it before, but you're beginning to understand that you're the one in control and not your emotions. And again, addictions are all about sort of like wanting to feel good, right? To get that dopamine response, but it can be seen as a place of weakness. And strength is all about not succumbing to desires, succumbing to baser emotions that are running this addiction. And then the moon, this is a testing phase for sure coming in for you, the moon. Not all is as it seems. Strong reading, dealing with a real shift in their life when it comes to how they've been living their lives, right? When it comes to how what they've been thinking was important. Let's get some oracle cards out, 2 oracle cards, and then we will call this a reading. Definitely a shift, Aries, a positive shift. This is very much to do with someone, like I said, coming in for you, showing you a better way. Spirit of the Fae and Spirit of the Giraffe. Okay, interesting. Again, yes, because the moon is here, we have mischief, play, fantasy. And the moon is here because the moon can also present a playful time, a time of fantasy, a time when things are not necessarily real. They're not necessarily as they seem. So be careful. Again, the devil is all about mischief and play also. And so that spirit is there. This is not an easy shift, especially, again, as I say, if you're dealing with addictions, that is not an easy shift to make. Spirit of the Giraffe, interesting. Perception, foresight, and vantage point coming in. Again, like I said earlier, that Knight of Cups that's coming into you is allowing you to see yourself from a different point of view, right? And so the Spirit of the Giraffe is very much strong in that sense, where you're really beginning to perceive yourself and see yourself from a vantage point that is different than you're used to. And you're beginning to, have an opening for the possibility that things don't have to be the way they are. Okay. This is usually one of the first things that has to shift in somebody when they're dealing with addictions to drugs, alcohol, or anything. Oftentimes you feel bad, you feel weak, you begin to have this lack of confidence and self-esteem. And the low self-esteem, beginning to get your self-esteem back and to begin to see yourself as more than just what you are, which is an addict, is oftentimes the first step to letting go of that addiction. All right, guys, this was your reading, Aries, for December. I hope it resonated with you. Okay, guys, this is Bow and Arrow Tarot. My name is Dorothy. This was December for Aries. I wish you guys love and light and peace, and I'll see you in your next reading. Bye-bye now.